Things are getting rather interesting at Six Flags Magic Mountain, especially with this permit that was just filed. Welcome to Theme Park Predictions. My name is Brandon, and you're going to learn all about this potential speculation for 2025, as well as my predictions on Magic Mountain's 21st roller coaster, in which I firmly believe they're already starting to prep work for this monstrous of a coaster. I'm going to share with you the 3 type of coasters that I realistically see coming to the park for this attraction, as well as tell you exactly how large of an area that we're looking at. Because would you believe me if I told you that this area is larger than the footprint of Goliath, Viper, and X2? It's true, this area is over 4.4 acres if Magic Mountain wanted to have this coaster footprint be this large. So we are really looking at a project that very well could become one of the biggest and best coasters at Magic Mountain. So yes, it's time to get excited, and let's dive into this because I'm really excited to share with you my thoughts as well as my predictions regarding this. Because we know Magic Mountain is no secret at teasing the G word. I won't say it, but they're very, very adamant on every once in a while dropping in the 4-letter G word, and that gets everyone excited. I'm not saying that's what it's going to be, but hear me out. So Park Journey uncovered the permit for Magic Mountain to demolish the Golden Bear Theater. And again, this theater is rather large, and this area could be used for a lot of different things, but we know that Magic Mountain is definitely due for their next coaster, since Wonder Woman opened up in 2022, which was supposed to, I believe, open up a year earlier, but due to COVID, it was pushed back. So the timetable really does make perfect sense for Magic Mountain to get a rather large coaster in 2025. When you pair that with Salim, Six Flags' CEO, stating that 2025 is going to feature a year of major coasters, all signs are pointing to this thing being a rather large SBF spinner. I'm talking maybe 4,000 feet long. Just joking. But anyways, I really do like where this is heading because Magic Mountain doesn't have the best coaster lineup in my opinion. However, all 3 coaster types that I'm going to share with you, I really feel as if they could all be a top 3 coaster at the park and really propel Magic Mountain's lineup even higher, because number 21 will not be a clone, and that's great news. Now, as you're examining the aerial images of this area here, you can notice that, again, it's a rather large area, but what you might not know is it is an elevation to this, because Superman is on top of the actual mountain at Magic Mountain. So I'm really intrigued by what type of coaster could go here, as far as will they have it interact with the actual terrain at all, or build it just above the terrain. There's a lot of cool things Magic Mountain could do with this. I'm thinking along the same lines of like a Full Throttle, Ninja, and Revolution, just as far as how they interact with the terrain below it. So let's talk about what type of coasters could be coming to Magic Mountain in 2025. And we know Six Flags recently is working with Intamin, which is great news, as well as Vekoma, which is great news as well. So I really do think there's a great chance that one of those companies is attached to this project. And I would go as far as saying that Vekoma or even an Intamin could very well become the best coaster in the park, if not the second best, depending on what type of ride it is. And as for the Vekoma, what if it's a Vekoma tilt coaster? Now, we do know that Energylandia was in a contract with Vekoma to build one. Then all of a sudden at the last minute they canceled the contract, and now the tilt coaster is not going to Energylandia anymore. Part of me wonders if Six Flags was able to basically take that contract and shift it over to Magic Mountain, much like they did with St. Louis's new Vekoma Rookie Racer that was scheduled to go to a different park, but the last second plans fell through and St. Louis added that new coaster. I don't think there's a really strong chance for that. I'm just speculating here, but a tilt coaster would make a ton of sense for Magic Mountain because it would bring them potentially the first one open up in America. We know there's one down at Coda Land in Texas, but we don't really know exactly when that's going to open up. So they can at least market it as the only tilt coaster on the West Coast. It's a very marketable type of attraction, so I do like that. As far as the terrain around it, I mean, there's a lot of ways this type of coaster could easily fit in this area, so I don't think that's a problem whatsoever. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think a lot of people are going to like this, but one type of ride that Vekoma does offer that I think would really benefit Magic Mountain, maybe not more than like a tilt, but just the family aspect, will be something like Big Bear Mountain. I mean, that coaster at Dollywood's phenomenal, and guests love it, families love it, thrill seekers love it. It's honestly like the third best coaster in the park. And if Magic Mountain would get something like Big Bear Mountain, that would be really cool. I really like that fit. Again, I don't know how possible that would be as far as the price point goes or anything else, because Big Bear did cost quite a bit of money. But it's a very intriguing thought that the more I think about it, the more I like it. So to clear things up, my first prediction is going to be a Vekoma tilt coaster. I would really like to see a Big Bear Mountain style ride, but I feel like the tilt coaster would make more sense. And the next prediction would be a B&M dive coaster. I would really love to see a dive coaster at Magic Mountain. I think for marketing purposes, it'll just bring in a ton of people. And this area of the park here could really benefit from a coaster that interacts with the midway. And basically it's a people stopper. People are going to stop and watch it, have a water splashdown. Again, there's a lot of cool things that they could do with this. Make it maybe 170, 180. I would love it for them to go 200 plus, but I don't know if that's going to be in the Six Flags' budget. But a dive coaster is always great, and we know that Cliffhanger down at Fiesta just opened up in 2022, and that coaster is fantastic. I would like to see a little bit of a larger one for Magic Mountain. I do think it's possible, and I think that this is the safest prediction for Magic Mountain, just knowing what the park could definitely benefit from. The high capacity, reliable, and the GP would absolutely love this. And now that Six Flags is working with B&M and investing in larger scale coasters, a dive coaster just makes perfect sense for Magic Mountain. And as for my final prediction, I could very well see a Giga coming to Magic Mountain, and it's not just because the park is teasing it, it's just when you align with what Magic Mountain can really benefit from the most, all the rumors that were true about Great Adventure building the Giga in 2024, and now that Salim is saying that they're going to be spending so much money on new coasters, we're going to be seeing bigger rides that we have not seen Six Flags build in 10, 12, 15 years since the El Toro and Goliath days, I think in 2006. So I'm all for that, and I really do think that there's a very good chance that Project 2025 could be a Giga. And here's a crazy idea for you. What if the station and entry plaza would be located where the Gold Bear Theater currently sits, but then you have the lift hill go directly over Superman, and after the 300-foot tall first drop, you would then enter a massive airtime hill that goes over the midway, and then you would see, sadly, the go-kart tracks get removed, because really no one really, they're just kind of a trend in Six Flags parks of them getting removed anyways, and this could feature the ride's turnaround element. And then, as you see in my diagram and my layout here, you would see that the actual coaster would then snake its way back to the actual mountain aspect of the park and then travel over Superman again, or maybe even underneath it, but I would say over makes the most sense. And since Superman's on the tallest part of the mountain, the coaster would then dive back down near the station and feature some really cool looking turns and airtime hills leading into the final brake run. I really like this. Again, I don't think a Giga, if I had to do percentages, I think the B&M dive coaster is probably at a 60, then it tilts at like a 30, and then the Giga's at a 10. But no, there is a chance. But for a Giga fitting in this location, I really like this potential layout. I think that there's could definitely be, this would change Magic Mountain, obviously for the better and forever. But just how dominating the Giga would be on top of the actual mountain, and how it would travel over other rides and coasters would be pretty legit. With that being said, a lot of exciting things are coming out at Magic Mountain, and I cannot wait to visit there in 2025. And another reason why I think this could be a very large coaster, what else is opening up in 2025 in Southern California? The brand new Fast and Furious coaster that's opening up at Hollywood. And that's a brand new Intamin multi-launch coaster that looks legit. So the Giga, maybe it's Intamin, maybe it's B&M, maybe it's something else. Either way, All signs are pointing to a roller coaster that will change Magic Mountain forever, and I predict it's going to be top 3 in the park. Now, if you're wondering how I would change Magic Mountain if I was in charge of the park, then this video right here is just for you. I had a lot of fun working on this, and I redid the whole entire park entrance. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and of course, keep riding coasters.